Hello everybody, I am Wednesday Addams. I have a bit of a flu today because I was out in the woods searching for my friends because the monster is trying to devour them all. But I'll be fine, don't worry about me. Anyway, today African Xhosa ASMR invited me to share with you some of the most spookiest yet chilling South African haunted places. Not now, thing. Get away. The chilling haunted places I'll be sharing with you guys about Africa are written in this mysterious black book. Can you see it? Let's try to open it and see what's inside the black book. Wait a minute. It's all blank. There's absolutely nothing. Nothing in the book. This book is a fraud. It's a fake. Wait a minute. What if it needs the magic touch, the Addams magic touch, before the words begin to appear? Abracadabra. Now, let's see. Now we're talking. There are words. Not sure if you can see them. Now I can see everything clearly. This blazer that I'm wearing is so hot, you guys. I can't even. The things I have to go through for you guys. Now, the first chilling haunted place in South Africa is the Cape of Good Hope. One of the most popular South African ghost stories is that of the Flying Dutchman, and the legend has it that in 1941 there was a Dutch trade ship that capsized just off the coast of the Cape of Good Hope. It was a stormy night, and then unfortunately the ship sank to the bottom of the sea, just like the Titanic. Boo. So it is believed that the Flying Dutchman is doomed to sail those stormy seas forever and ever and ever. And it is believed that whoever crosses the same path is doomed to die an untimely death. Oh, that's spooky. That was the Cape of Good Hope. As we continue, the stories will get spookier and spookier and spookier. We only just beginning. Let's move on to the second one. The second place is the Karoo National Park. The mountains of the beautiful Karoo National Park are often covered with a thick blanket of mist, which is the root of this tale. Locals speak of water spook, or as we call it, the water ghost. And the legend has it that the spirit of the water ghost covers the mountains so that it can move around and around and around without ever being seen. The ghost is also believed to lower livestock into the deep pool where they eventually drown. The many unmarked graves in the area also add to the spookiness of the atmosphere around the place. Ooh, are you scared now? Now we're gonna move on to the third spooky story, and it is the tale of Kate. The tale of Kate. Well, let me read it to you. Okay, there's an old town in the Western Cape, and this town is famous for its ghost stories. It has a hotel called the Lord Milner Hotel. So, one of the most well-known stories in this place is that of Kate, the tragic tale of Kate. What happened to Kate? What happened to Kate? I'm pretty sure you wonder. Well, Kate was a nurse during the South African War, and she passed away mysteriously passed away. Well, visitors of the hotel have claimed to have seen her staring from the hotel rooftop, and they also claim to hear sounds of shuffling cards. They would hear the sound of shuffling cards, and Kate loved to play cards with her patients. She would play the cards with her patients on a room in the second floor. So now everybody who goes to the hotel allegedly hears the sound of shuffling cards coming from the exact same room where Kate would play with her patients. Only a few things bring me joy, so bear with me. Now, let's move on to the fourth. Number four. The fourth spooky, chilling in South Africa. And what is it? What is it, you may wonder? Well, the next chilling place is a hotel in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. Well, in the past, guests and staff in this hotel within the KZN Midlands reported that the spirit of a woman roams around the hotel and its surroundings. Boo. Charlotte was a prostitute who fell in love with a British soldier and was killed after jumping or falling. Perhaps, maybe she was pushed to her death from room 10 in this hotel within the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. Her ghost apparently moves around and it moves around and it rearranges floral arrangements and it tidies away clothes and straightens mirrors. Okay. That's rather interesting. I bet you're not ready for the fifth. The fifth chilling place. Chilling haunted place. Are you ready? Are you ready? I bet you're not. We're gonna share it anyway. The next chilling story, the fifth story, is that of Smart's house. Smart's house in Irene. Smart's house in Irene. Smart's house in Irene. What I'm doing is super cringy, but we're gonna continue. So, General Jan Smuts was a renowned philosopher, scholar, botanist, statesman, and soldier, and he lived in a historically preserved house for over 40 long years. So, the story goes that the farm which he owned, where he lived for over 40 years, was previously owned by a family who fled during the South African War after buying valuables including a 30,000 euros worth of gold in the yard. So they left it buried somewhere in the backyard. Many visitors have reported seeing an old man in the backyard. Some have even claimed that they have seen this old man in one of the bedrooms within the house. Jan Smart's wife, often spoke about the ghost and his presence in this house. A lot of people visit the house with the hopes of running, seeing, or coming across this old man who's maybe looking for his treasure. You never know. Maybe his spirits never got to rest because he was absorbed by earthly wealth. Now, let's move on to story number 6. Our 6th and final haunted place we're going to be covering today is Uniondale. 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 Well, the ghost of Uniondale is one of the most notorious in South Africa, and is the tragic tale about the sudden death of 2 lovers. Allegedly, in the late 60s, Maria Rox and her fiancé were driving just outside the town where their car suddenly crashed. Unfortunately, crashed. Neither of them survived, and Maria is said to walk around the road at night asking for a lift back to town and vanishing after getting into the cars of unsuspecting motorists. Rumors has it that Maria and her fiancé were on their way to break the news of their engagement to her parents. Well, since this is one of the biggest, spookiest stories in South Africa, others say that only Maria did not survive the crash, but her fiancé did, and a car that was passing by saw the crashed car, and they quickly ran to save them, and only to find that only Maria's husband was inside the car, and he was injured. Even though he was still injured, he still searched for his wife. He was asking the people who were trying to save him, "Where's Maria? Where's my fiancé? Where's Maria? I want Maria." And everybody else thought he was just being delusional because of what he suffered. Maybe he suffered a head trauma during the impact. But Maria was there in the car with him before everything. But she just vanished. And everybody else didn't believe him. Everybody thought it was just only him. And then they rushed him to hospital immediately, and Maria was nowhere to be found. Nobody searched for him up until the next car was driving past, and then they saw a body laying at a distance. Maria had flown out of the car and her body landed at a distance. And the person who found Maria saw that she died. Smiling. And they also saw a wallet so that they could identify her as Maria Rox. And then they went to Maria's house to report the incidents, and they brought Maria's belongings. And then they told Maria's parents that Maria died, and in her face she looked like someone who died smiling, someone who died being happy. And because during the impact Maria was fast asleep, now her spirit still hasn't come into terms with the fact that she has died. She's no longer alive. And her spirit just has woken up, and it roams around, being confused, trying to find her way back home. That's why she's constantly on the road at night, where they got into a crash. She wants to go back to her fiance. She wants to go back home. She wants to go tell her parents that she's engaged. She hasn't come into terms with the fact that whilst she was sleeping, she has died. And others believe that because after her death, her fiance married another woman within a year, 1 year. Others believe that her spirit is still not at peace because she's not happy with the fact that her husband found a new wife within that short period of time. And it is believed that maybe she thought that they would be together forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, that is it from me, Wednesday Addams, who is super hot from wearing a blazer, a shirt, and a school uniform in the middle of summer inside the house with no fan on, because we need the sound to be perfect. We hope you enjoyed the South African haunted, spooky places being told by me, Wednesday Addams. Don't worry, Xhosa ASMR is going to be back next week. Good night.